לנו זלה אדוני צבא הבא אדוני השם לכם עלינו מקורנו והערבה לאדוני מחת יהודה וירושלים כמעולם השנים קדמוניותן עד אלוהים לא משנה וכולנו באנו על הבא שנאמר הליכות עולם לא תקרא הליכות אלא הלכות.
Chazak u'baruch, Boker Tov Rabotai. Thanks for coming. I want to tell you something just for Arminyan, a couple of things that we saw. First of all, when the Kohen goes up to do Birkat Hacohanim, so what it has to be is that he has to wait for the Chazan to say Yivarechecha. Not that he should say first, so he's got to wait. First the Chazan says, and then he repeats. That's the way it is, right? Because sometimes what happens is that he's jumping in fast and not waiting for the Chazan. There's a rule like this in Birkat Hacohanim. You know what it is? That the Chazan has to wait for the Kohen. What does that mean? Until he finishes what he's saying. And also the Kohen has to wait for the Chazan until he finishes what he's saying. So there has to be derech eretz, each one has to wait. Yeah. And until the other one finishes. This way it comes out to be nice and orderly. There's no rush, we're not running anywhere. We're not making $1 million deal today, are we? Is anybody making $1 million deal? Whatever it is, okay, so we're okay, we're not through that. I think somebody is making $1 million deal. Okay, that's good, Baruch Hashem. That's good. Okay. Okay, God bless you. Also, another thing, right? If a person wants to go up to be the Chazan, to be Shliach Tzibur, he has to cover his arms. They have to be covered until the elbows have to be covered. So therefore, if the Chazan wants to go up and he's wearing a short sleeve shirt, what does he have to do? He has to wear talit, but he has to put the talit down like this, so it's covering his arms. There's no choice, Why is that? It says in Shulchan Aruch because of Kavod HaTzibur. When you're going up to be the Shliach Tzibur, because of Kavod HaTzibur, you have to wear long sleeves. It's covering at least the elbow. That's the halakha. Okay, very good. One more question, that I was asked last night. Somebody called me up from our community, Baruch Hashem, one of our good people here. So he asked the question, his wife is breastfeeding, the baby, that just had a mazal tov, they had a baby. So what happens is that she... on Shabbat, she uses a pump to pump the milk, okay? Right. And the pump is not electric. I asked them, it's not an electric pump. It's yadani, regular, manual pump. So what they do is they pump the milk, and the question is like this, can you do this on Shabbat, pumping milk from the breast, on Shabbat? This is the question, So the truth is that this involves the melacha of mefarek. One of the prohibitions on Shabbat of 39 labors is mefarek. What does mefarek mean? Taking the milk out of the breast or the animal or the mother. It's all the same, right? Whether it's a cow or it's a human being, whatever it is, right? It's called mefarek. Now, when the baby is feeding, right? That's derech achila, so it's okay, no problem. When the baby is taking from the breast, no problem. That we can do on Shabbat. But the question is, can you put it into a kli, cup, and then give it to the baby later, for later? Yeah. So that was the question. So the answer is you can't do that. You can't do it. And the reason is because you're transgressing a prohibition of the Torah, right? And this is not allowed. So what you have to do is try to breastfeed the milk straight to the baby on Shabbat. Don't try to save the milk. But there is one exception. You know what the exception is? If the baby is not getting enough by breastfeeding, and it doesn't take formula, the baby. Some babies take formula also. So if she takes formula, give him formula. No problem, you can give them on Shabbat formula. But if let's say the baby doesn't take formula, so there what we do is you're even allowed to put it into a cup and save it for the baby. Because this, why? Because we're afraid, chas v'shalom, the baby will die. Because of starvation, malnutrition. So therefore the halacha allows even that when there's no choice. But when there is a choice, it's getting enough as it is, so then no. Also another question that they asked is that if they take the milk, right, can they heat it up with hot water, on Shabbat? So what's the rule? The rule is that whatever is on the esh, whatever is on the fire, you can't put in there the milk because it's kli rishon. It's the first kli, which is on the fire. Also, if it's on the plata, same thing, If it's on the plata, the kli, you're not allowed to put inside there the milk, to heat it up. So what do? You take first out the kli, from the kli, the water, right, from the urn, put it into kli sheni, a second kli. A second. This one is not on the ash, it's not on the fire. So then you're allowed to put the milk inside there. Why? To heat it up. Because kli sheni, it says in Gemara, kaimalan, kli sheni, eno mebashir. It doesn't cook kli sheni. So this is the reason why it's mutar. Baruch Adonai Leolam.